Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Celestia Radio's Canterlot Cross-Fade. Get your bodies ready, ponies, it's time for the most profane, unadulterated, uncensored 2 hours your mind can fucking handle. Just two dudes talking news, events, music, and what the fuck ever else we can think of. Canterlot Cross-Fade, starting right now on Celestia Radio. Alright, and hello, I am DJ Shamrock, and welcome to another Canterlot Cross-Fade, joined here with co-host DJK Brony. Hey man, what's going on today?
It's been good so far. Had a great Thanksgiving, and looking forward to doing episode 6. This is probably the first time since episode 2 that we've gotten 2 in a row, so I am proud of this already. The show hasn't even really happened yet, but I'm already proud.
Yeah. It's, kicking it off, and we managed to find a good spot to have, 2 in a row, I guess. It just kind of happened. A lot of times around the holidays, we all have, seemingly more time than we had before. Some of us are on break. Some of us just feel like doing feck all else, so, it happens. You're around family for so long, you want to get away from them and go kind of have your own time to do stuff, so sometimes we're able to get a few more shows in, but today we're going back to was it episode 3?
Episode 4
that we did part 1.
Number 4.
Alright, so we are doing part 2 Celestia Radio History today. If you need a refresher, of course, you can go to our YouTube page at Celestia Radio. Check out the awesome part 1 that we have there for Canterlot Cross-Fade episode 4. And this is going to be continuing pretty much straight from that. We're going to do a recap, though, here in the beginning to kind of get those of you that it's obviously been a little while. So we want to, refresh everybody where we're at with the story and kind of get back into it from there. So we did leave off, I believe, with you sort of officially joining CR, right?
Yeah, I believe I went back and listened to it like 10 minutes ago, rapid fire. Like, what happened? I can't remember. That was like 6 weeks ago. Shit. But I went over and we ended on how we were doing the phone call remotes and how that was legitimate radio-styled remotes because that was back when there wasn't a giant other media conglomerate that we won't mention. And live streaming wasn't very popular at that moment for conventions. So basically what we did was you called me, and I, using the magic of technology and hardware, got a phone into a mixer, into a computer, and then onto the airwaves. And then we had live remotes of Bronycon, which was great because you were walking around, we were doing interviews while you were in line, all that kind of shit. So we made the best of a shit situation, especially during the fire. We were the only ones doing coverage while everyone else was, clamoring to get back inside. We were just, fuck it. We're still doing our thing. So that's more or less where we left off. We were doing phone calls. I had joined. That was my maiden voyage show. And yeah.
Yeah, so on that subject again to touch on, one of the things that of course we brought to the table at the time is combined with DJK and I, we're both pretty much, the only ones that are on quote unquote the scene, so to speak, that have worked in radio broadcasting. I think there might be some folks actually that in some other organizations that have worked in TV broadcasting, but no one that's actually been a broadcaster. Everybody that I know that has worked in TV has been on the probably production line of things. At that Bronycon, as live streaming was sort of beginning to become popular, that was the first really huge Brony convention. Only 4,000 people got in, and there were a lot more that wanted to go. So the first big show with guests and stuff and times to ask questions. So when they were trying to do, TV streaming, obviously you have to have pretty much the internet or a solid line connection. back to the network to get to it. But luckily for radio, you can just communicate via airwave, plug in the phone and go, and that's how most radio stations do it today. So we were very pleased to be able to be out there and going around, and during the fire and everything as that was happening, while other of the TV crews and the documentary was there doing their recording stuff. I remember I almost forgot that the documentary was a thing, actually, just now. Yeah. To be honest, like it's almost like year one documentary, year two Equestria Girls.
More or less.
More or less.
Relatively few fucks are given about that documentary nowadays.
Yeah, at this point it's like, oh, yeah, I guess that was a thing. Because now, you see or hear about documentaries left and right almost, but none of them are actual, documentaries. Some of them are like 30 minutes with a handy cam and, talking to 4 people. So it's not really, as large as the first one, and certainly less fucks are given about them at this point. I think it's also because after, Bronies go so mainstream, it's like, oh, well, that's that. People just kind of get it at that point, or they don't. But yeah, it becomes less of a worry.
Yeah, we're like, we've been around the block. You can talk shit about us. You can even go ahead, talk about us. The best you're gonna get is a fucking random post on EQD's Roundup saying David Letterman had made fun of ponies, and then 4 people comment, dick. Back in the day, that was the subject of gossip and talk and ridicule for months on end. Just, oh my god, remember that one time, and now that happened? Oh yeah, I did it. Okay.
I remember when Colbert
yes,
gave the bump. That was really interesting. That was the first really big. People were like, "Holy shit, Colbert mentioned us." Like, that was a pretty big deal. And that was talk of the town for a good couple weeks, I want to say. But yeah, then once you get on a bunch of these other ones and fucking Howard Stern talks shit about you, and which, thank you, Bronycon 2012, because that's where that happened.
Stern.
Yeah, oh god. I think fucking Fadsy talked to him too, I want to say, or one of his guys. It was funny. But yeah, yep, it was crazy. So Bronycon 2012 was sort of the first pinnacle major event since the influx of bronies sort of came in, that we saw sort of during that whole season 2 era. You had between season 1 and season 2, there was kind of that gap there where a bunch of people,
and then the beginning of season 2 where it dried out, and then mid season 2 to end of season 2, giant influx again. I joined first couple episodes into season 2.
Yeah,
I remember well. It was right during the Daring Do episode, because I hadn't paid. I was going in the order of the episodes, so at that point I didn't really know shit about shit. I knew Derpy was popular, so I just figured Derpy was a completely canon character. So when I got to that episode where she had the speaking roles, I'm like, oh, she speaked, cool. It's about time that they had that main character talk. And then later I find out, oh, that's why that was a big deal. That's why everyone gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's same with the whole Daring Do thing. I'm like, well, Daring Do, where'd she been? I didn't know that she was a character, but she's just a fucking fictional thing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I thought Rainbow Dash is going to be this whole fucked up wings for weeks for multiple episodes. That also wasn't the case. So that shows you I was a noob back in the day, but I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah.
So that's how I can always gauge about what time I hopped on board.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because I think I would put Delancey probably as one that came in during that sort of mid to end season of season 2, where they start to find out about this, and that's when they start start getting the idea together for the documentary. You know, and they start putting that in place. They go to Bronycon, they do their stuff. For those that don't know, a few of us are in it. I want to say there's the part. A few of us from CR are in the part where they got a group together to sing Discord, and I think we might have talked about this on the last episode, but just as a quick recap, we annoyed the shit out of Delancey, because we literally got like a group of, I don't know how many people, but we got them over, and I think they didn't know what was happening, because otherwise they wouldn't have done this. And a few of us trolls at CR were like, oh, here's Delancey interviewing this like 9-year-old boy, right, for the documentary. We're like, this is the perfect opportunity to just scream the song Discord at the top of our lungs by Eurobeat Brony. And just like sing it out like right next to, we were literally maybe 10 feet away. And we got like 30 people to start singing. And he literally looks over like, how dare you? And he tells half of his documentary crew to take us aside and film us doing this song. So they filmed us, and they actually put it in the documentary, which I thought was kind of funny. But that brief part, and then Fadsy's in it. You can see him walking away at one point. Yeah, not much else. But it was pretty cool. Fucking ice cold waters, man. So, what the fuck? We finished with that. It was sort of, you know, it was a big event. Everybody was pretty much exhausted at the end of it, you know, and
the fandom had like a 1 week to 2 week recovery period where even EQD was like, we need to veg. Like, holy shit, everyone was in overkill mode, which was kind of cool. That was something that was new. Everyone wasn't at each other's throats quite yet. I mean, I remember distinctly because that was, you know, before we were really, really bad terms with EFN. I was watching their stream of the convention, and I see this giant pink dot off in the distance, approaching. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh my god, who is this motherfucker? He's getting closer and closer, and he's got like a trail of 4 people behind him, and he's got a microphone too. And I'm like, what are we in here for? And he walks up, and I'm like, I recognize this motherfucker. Who is this guy? And he totally just pushes the EFN broadcasters out of the way, gets in front of their camera. He goes, hey everybody, I'm Pony Toast from Celestia Radio. And I'm like, oh god. Here we go.
Here we go.
And I remember they were interviewing Amy Keating Rogers at the time. And they totally just fucking pushed the EFN guys out of the way and start interviewing her on EFN's cameras. I'm like, you know, Pony Toast, I may not be on the best terms with you, but that was ballsy. And good fucking job.
It was pretty ballsy. I actually didn't even know that happened, to be honest, until you just told me.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yeah, from the good old days.
Yep, certainly. So that was an interesting, just like, I mean, we don't want to beat a dead horse. It was Bronycon was the pinnacle event. It still might be, because that set the standard for a lot of shit that was coming up.
Yeah, speaking of all of that stuff, we basically, I mean, that was the period where you get into, shortly after Pony Toast was gone. So, did we talk about this on the last one?
No, we didn't, because that was post Bronycon, and the funny thing is, just when I was uploading episode 5 of Canterlot Cross-Fade, I was on CR's YouTube, and then I found that video that we have unlisted, and no, you will never see it, listeners, so my apologies that we're going to talk about it in front of you. But it was all my Brony fanfare footage that I didn't edit. I just pumped it into that hour episode, and that's where we have the parking lot rant, and I watched the whole thing last night, and it's, oh man, still just fucking gold. Still
so gold. Isn't that on? Is the parking lot rant not on? Oh no, it wouldn't be. Okay. I know it's on the page, but it's not live, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was, yeah, because I say some things. I say some things in that, you know, maybe if you contact me personally, I may show it to you. But, it's definitely not something that the audience at large should see. But, just me talking shit, that's all.
Yep. And the funny thing about that video, and this is not necessarily a segue into the upcoming topics, but just kind of a ironic little bit, but we were all sitting in that parking lot, and I'm looking across at all the people there, and that was at that moment I realized, holy shit, at this point we didn't know that this was going to happen, but literally half the people sitting in this fucking parking lot are gonna start working for CR in 6 months. Because Cider was in the parking lot, Swivel was in the parking lot, Perry was in the parking lot, Reed was in the parking lot.
I'm pretty sure David was there, too.
David was there, yep.
And all of them work for CR, so...
Yep. Just kind of funny that, you know, we started out meeting each other in a parking lot at an apartment block in Austin, Texas, eating ice cream at midnight. And now here we are.
Damn straight. Yeah, that was pretty... That was when, God, I forgot. I took over the reins that year.
Yeah, you took over the reins...
in March, or whatever.
When I got hired. Literally same
God.
day.
I've literally been in charge way longer than I thought I was. I was like, yeah, I've been in charge for like half the time CR's been around. I'm like, oh, no, actually. It's a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that whole thing was very interesting, but, you know, we'll definitely talk about, Pony Toast. We'll talk about, all things convention season of 2013 and all the stuff that we had to deal with, the Great Media Wars, that's the year of the Great Media Wars. And all of those crazy things in the main section of the show. But KB, I think it's actually time for a break.
It is. We're going to swing into our first commercial break here on episode 6, and we also have our first song break, one of two. I'm not sure if this is going to be the new standard for the show, but at least for the past 2 episodes, this has been the case. The first song, for some reason, I always manage to find something that's really wubtastic and dubsteppy and electronic. And then the second song is always more orchestrated, either kind of folk or orchestral or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I feel like it caters to both sides of the fence here, whether you like EDM or not. So, I mean, if you're watching this again, then you can skip the next 4.5 minutes if you hate dubstep. And if you hate orchestral, then I will give you the same warning coming up later. But here's our first break, and also the song coming up. We have DJ Pone 3. Oh, yes, our favorite generic artist name that you will never, ever get any cred or recognition for, with their dubstep track, Vinylicious. So don't go anywhere. You were tuned into Canterlot Cross-Fade, and we will be right back.
Do you want to have a night on the town, but need someone to watch your precious little animals? Look no further than Fluttershy's Take Care. Fluttershy will watch your animals with more care than a mother would watch her child. She makes sure each one is fed, bathed, and asleep. Fluttershy offers overnight service or hourly service, and out of love for all animals, she will do it for free. Just listen to these testimonials.
My little bunny was safe and sound all day. Fluttershy is such a nice pony.
My little kitty loved it. She was well rested and fed when I came to pick her up.
I love Fluttershy. She makes sure my precious puppy gets whatever he needs. She's a very kind pony.
So why wait? Bring your little animal down to Fluttershy's Animal Daycare next time you want a night on the town.
Hey guys, it's DJ Clavel here, and I've got some fantastic news. The new Celestia Radio website is up now at celestiaradio.com. I hope you guys will enjoy it. We're going to keep polishing it up here and there, so stick around. Also, remember to tune in this Saturday for the new My Little Pony episode. The day will be filled in with staff casts and fantastic DJ sessions, so stay tuned to Celestia Radio. All pony, all the time.
If you don't have to use your traditional Royal Canterlot voice, the radio isn't turned up loud enough. Celestia Radio. All pony, all the time.
Peace.
To the PON3, and ain't no other pony drop the bass like me. I'm final. Delicious. Drop the bass like me. I'm final. Delicious.
Hold on.
Delicious.
Told you, that song, pretty webtastic. Anywho, DJK back here, of course, joined with DJ Shamrock, and you were tuned into episode number 6 of Canterlot Cross-Fade, with an original air date of December 1st. All right, we're in the holiday season officially. So,
Yeah.
I mean, woo! Yay for endless commercials that already started in October.
Yeah, and huge Steam sales. For those of you that weren't aware by now, Steam is doing huge sales until December 3rd. You got daily deals, you got flash deals. There's some pretty fucking awesome stuff. Skyrim, if you're feeling in a, sort of a... I've seen this wave. It's like Skyrim Take 2. If anyone remembers when Skyrim originally came out, and everyone was playing it for like a solid... through the entire holiday season. But it is on sale, Legendary Edition, for $20, which has all the DLC and Skyrim on Steam. So if you don't already have it, have never played it, now's your chance.
Oh man, I don't think I could prepare myself for a long epic game, especially once school kills me.
Oh yeah, no,
being
for
able
sure.
to do shit,
it's hard.
like, oh, I'll do this. This sounds like a great time, and then you're like, oh fuck, I can play this for 30 minutes a day in between my real life. So
how do you play Civ 5?
I literally play them in one go, and it's an all-day affair. I will sit down on Saturday and be weird playing Civ. And
yeah,
then
I was gonna say, because like Civ 5 is one of those games where, for those that don't know, Kyle's a huge history buff, so it makes sense that you would like that game, and I enjoy that game too. But the first couple times I sat down, and it was like a coordinated event, because I was playing with 4 other people, and it was like, okay, on this day we're playing from this hour to this hour. On this day we're playing from this hour to this hour. It was just like...
You have to.
You might as well launch an entire arc in a D&D style RPG, because it is just oh man. It depends, especially if you don't have quick on, where all of your technologies and stuff go up 5 for one turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that game will take forever.
I've braved the storm that is what the fuck do they call it? It's the game where every era takes as long as a normal Civ game, and that was a mistake.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna research archery. Fucking 30 turns later, you've learned archery. I'm like, what did I get myself into?
Oh, no. Because, see, especially for me, I'm one of those people, I'm so fucking analytical that I have to literally click every unit and make them do something.
Yes,
so
I never fucking auto anyone.
I can't auto anything. I have to know where everyone is on the map at all times. So I'm constantly checking and making sure I know where other people's pieces went. And it's just, I can't do it.
We could talk. We could talk about Civ for
we could talk about Civ forever. So that's not what this episode's about. Anyway, get on Steam, check out those cool deals. Borderlands 2 also, I'll plug that, $40 for the Game of the Year edition, which has everything from DLC Season 1. Now's the time to fucking get Borderlands 2 if you've been slacking off on it. That is DJ Shamrock's recommended #1 game of all time, so go check it out. So back to the topic at hand. Basically, we got into the part where Pony Toast Saga. Basically, after Summer Bronycon 2012, and before Brony Fanfare, which was in
September 9th to the 13th, I believe.
Oh man, you fucking have that down.
I have the plane ticket still. It's hanging in front of me.
Wow, cool.
When you're young and like me, and that's your first ever solo adventure, I'm like, fuck, I'll hold on to this plane ticket.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was just that one was legitimately good. But before that, Summer Bronycon, that was end of June into beginning of July. Do I have that right? I want to say.
Yes, that was...
I'm pretty
sure. The first Bronycon was the last day of June, into the first few days of July.
Right. So, we had about, a 2-month long period there. And that period was interesting in a lot of ways. At the time, for those that don't know, Pony Toast, and I won't talk too much shit just because he works for another network now and we don't hate them. He's a nice guy and everything, but there were some times where for CR at the time, the drama became way too much. We were just like, oh my god, this is too much. And, one thing led to another. I won't get into the story again because all that shit happened already, and we don't need to get into it. But, basically, an event happened, and it was like, okay, we cannot keep you anymore. Like, we literally have to get rid of you. And it's something that was weird at the time because CR up till that point, I don't think we'd actually lost anyone. Never. We lost MLI at one point. But he left. Like, it wasn't, nothing bad happened, right?
No
people
one was
had left.
asked to leave.
Yeah, people had decided to leave just of their own volition, and they, needed to focus on real life or whatever. But never before had we literally had a problem person for so long that it was like, okay, we have to let you go because we can't take this anymore. And I am pretty confident that if we had kept him, things would have gotten way worse. But that was sort of my big first, other than Bronycon, that was really my big first challenge, sort of in leading CR, was because I'm one of those people that I love giving people second chances, and I'm not one to, like, throw someone off a boat.
We are the worst at firing, more or less.
We are terrible at it. I really hate it. I really do, because I feel bad when it happens. I want everybody to get along. But sometimes, like, you'll just have, and it wasn't the case for him, it was more like him versus everyone. But in some cases, which we'll get into later, there are two sides that have both very good points and will literally just clash to no end where someone is going to leave. And that became troublesome scenario number 2, which we'll get into later. But, we're terrible at it, and I don't like it. So that's why we try and hire people that I know I'm going to fucking love 100%, and they're going to get along with everyone. Which I think has been pretty good. I don't think we have any problem people, really.
We haven't had an internal issue since issue number 2, which, like we've said, we will get to later.
Yeah. As far as, like, actually people hating each other. Like, that was the,
Sometimes what the fuck? You're like, dude, you what the fuck? And then
you what the fuck? Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
And then there's just always Plow.
And there's always Plow. We love him. That sort of, the Pony Toast thing was the consumption of part 1 of CR leading into when I took over, and that sort of him being made to leave was sort of at the official point where I was like, wow, I'm actually in charge of this place now. Because, I mean, it's sort of, Plow and PHP both weighed in heavily. But it was basically, I was the one who had to bring it up, and I was the one who had to initiate the firing. So that's sort of when things really started to settle in, that I was like, okay, this is my thing now. I guess I need to do things. So, that leads us perfectly into Brony Fanfare. KB, had you been doing your show? You'd had your show before then, right?
Oh, yeah. I was doing it every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday since Bronycon.
Right. Was it literally the week after that you started?
2 weeks probably. I remember I was used to the process at my old station, like the legit station.
Right.
Where it's a lot of planning to actually make like a time slot, so I kept pestering him like, hey, when can we sit down and discuss, possible time slots? Now as program director, when people want times, I'm like, here's our schedule, find what you can do, tell me, and I will tell you whether or not you were right. And like,
that's pretty much what I did, wasn't it? I was just like, well, when can you do it? And you're like, I'm like, okay.
And people, I kind of did the same thing, but I was able to maintain my 3 shows a week for a whole year, which I am fucking happy of, because
that is a pretty crowning achievement. I was able to do it for like 2 months.
I don't want to know how many requests I've taken over the years.
Oh,
but the funny thing is, I imgured particular chat moments that are special to me, which I go back and look at. Like, one time I played Bohemian Rhapsody, and there was like 80 people tuned in, and then we all started fucking singing along. I'm like, that's the shit that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, or fucking, oh man, the days where literally I would, we would get on, and I would start with like, 100 people, and I would just be, they'd be like, pony swag, pony swag, pony swag. And I'd be like, no, I want 50 more people. And literally, people in the chat would be like, fucking get 50 people. And the entire chat would disperse and grab their friends to tune in. And we would get 150 within like 5 minutes. And people would literally just tell other people to tune in, and they would do it. And we'd get to 150, and I'd be like, okay, pony swag. And then we would break the chat. Oh, man. Good times.
Very
but
good times.
I mean, I'm with you on the request thing. Like, people just being like, "Hey, can you play this song?" I'm like, I don't know what that is, because all you did was link me a YouTube page, and they're just like, "Play this." I'm like, that doesn't. I don't know if I have that. And then I look it up. I'm like, no, I don't have that. Sorry. They're like, play it.
The best requests I've still gotten throughout the years. I can say that because it's basically been 2.
Right.
Was and I even played it last time I was on air just to make Void happy, but the best request I've ever gotten was the Windows 98 startup sound.
Yes. I agree. That's a good one.
I've played that one a few times.
I think my personal Windows startup sound request would be Moonbase Alpha. I've gotten requests for that video so many times I can't even. And of course, back in the day, the very famous, video. I don't even remember who did it. The bananas video.
Oh my god, yeah.
And just oh god, so crazy. That video. That was a thing for a long time.
Oh, I watched that for the first time at Brony Fanfare at that little after party we had.
Oh yeah.
On the moon!
On
bitch!
the moon! Bitch! And just fucking, the great thing about that was that, sometimes even to today, I'll get in the IRC and I'll see someone ask someone else if they like bananas, and they will totally not understand. And I'm just like, yes, here's to the good old days. Because, that was probably my best in the IRC days. I was actually around IRC when that stuff was going on, and literally we would get new people, and new people would just sort of crawl into the chat and be like, what is this magical place with NSFW everywhere? And, I would literally be in the room, and I would just look at them, and I would be like, hey, do you like bananas? And the person, literally 9 out of 10 times, they wouldn't know what I was talking about, so they would answer legitimately. And everyone else in the chat would just be like, oh god, here we go. And I would ban them. Just straight up, kick ban, just for a few seconds, I'm just like, suck it, moon, bitch. And just, it was good. Because people got the joke. They would, come back in, they'd be like, I don't understand what happened. And then, we'd link them the thing, or they'd figure it out. But, yeah, that's pretty much, that was a good staple of the time, I want to say. Obviously, along with Pony Swag was still good for me at that point. But,
man, that when we ever just Celestia Radio History, there's going to be so many tangents.
Pretty much. I'm not worried about getting through all of it, because really, there's just specific things that happen. But this is the thing where, as much as events and stuff happen with us, the real history of CR definitely takes place in that chat. You know,
Yeah, the glory of the station.
Yeah, the real personality of the station really comes out with our listeners and God help us, and you know, some of the interactions with the staff and stuff, and I've always enjoyed that aspect. I thought it was what really made internet radio kind of cool, and something we don't get in terrestrial radio. So you don't get that interaction with your audience nearly as much.
You don't get to see how many listeners you got. You don't get to hear what people are thinking. You just sit there in your room and you on the swirly chair, and you just kind of go back and forth like, fuck, how many more songs? 30. Woo!
Yeah, that's what.
Time for the weather. Okay.
I think internet radio actually kind of spoiled me a little bit because I became extremely just disappointed with terrestrial radio after that point. I was just like, it's really, you know, it's hard to keep up a smile when you're doing terrestrial radio because you're just kind of in a room and there's like nobody around and you have no communication with the world other than just blasting people with your voice and music, and you get no feedback really.
And I get one drunk guy at fucking midnight calling in. I got a request for my cat. Oh, really? You have a request for your cat? What would your cat like to hear?
Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, that was... You fucking nailed it.
You know, it's always Blue Oyster Cult. Come on.
He's like, play the Reaper song, and I'm like, okay. And I play it immediately. I'm like, here's some guy, it's 12:30 in the morning, but here's some guy, here's a request for his cat. Here we go. Blue Oyster Cult, don't fear the Reaper. And then everyone loves the cowbell, and then, you know, that shit's happening. And then 15 minutes later, I get a phone call. Same drunk guy. What the fuck? What? You didn't play my request. I did play your request. I played your request immediately after you called. What the fuck? I'm like, well, what's your deal, dude? Well, I was taking a shit right after I called you. I'm like, oh my god. What am I doing?
It's like, do you not understand we can, like, play songs, like, pretty much right then and there? Like, it's not that hard. Oh, man, that's funny.
Another tangent there. That is the life of the community radio station in a small bumfuck town. Play request for my cat. Gladly. What's your cat's name? I can't remember the cat's name. I'll be another time. I'll keep this story short. I was playing 2112, the Rush record, on vinyl. And the station door was locked, because once again, midnight, I was in there for the graveyard shift. And we have this fucking strobe light up in the corner that it flashes very fast if someone's at the door and rings the doorbell. I didn't know what the fuck that meant at the time. So I'm just sitting on the on-air room, and then suddenly this light starts fucking flashing and strobing the whole entire dark room. And I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, what the fuck? The red light for the microphone's not on, so what the fuck does this light mean? And then I run outside, and I see these two fucking drunk women at the door. And one of them is a major Rush fan, apparently. And she comes in, and I'm taking pictures with her of every Rush vinyl record we fucking have. She's fangasming all over the place. And her other friend, who doesn't like Rush, is like, why are we here? I don't get this. And they're from New York. So they're total tourists, and they're just loving it because they got to go hang out with the kid that likes Rush at the radio station in the weird town that they were visiting. She asked for my address because she was like, I go to Rush concerts all the fucking time. I will send you something. I'm like, all right, cool. And I give her my address. I'm like, well, fucking so much for that. She'll forget. Fucking 4 months later, I swear to God, I get this fucking box. Signed t-shirt by Geddy Lee. I'm like, no fucking way. So... catering to the drunk wenches over at K-Butt, it paid off in the end.
Yeah.
So that's real life radio in a nutshell. Sham's probably wasn't that much fun because he was a top 40 station, but
it was not nearly as fun. Though, I mean, my fun was basically sitting on Sundays playing fucking pastors talking for like 5 hours long and sitting there and being like, oh, and then getting calls from old ladies who don't know what time it is. And they're like, what time is it? I'm like, it's 7 a.m. Why are you awake right now? Like, those were my days where I'm like, oh, fuck this. Or, you know, I would, like, wake up. It would be, like, 7:30, and I'd be like, oh, fuck. I'm, like, 30 minutes late. I'd drive to the station, like, get in, turn on the shit, because, of course, we have a program that just stops at 7 a.m. So, you know, there's, like, dead air for 30 minutes. I, like, get in, like, oh, fuck. I get all the stuff started, get stuff playing, like, no calls at all whatsoever. No fucks given about the 30 minutes of not anything on the radio, because no one cared. But, it was pretty funny. Good times that, at 103.9. Yeah, you know, getting back into, you know, the actual Brony story here. Brony Fanfare was kind of our first, like, you know, we owned that convention. Easily.
That's an understatement. We fucking, I mean,
we were that convention the first year.
Basically.
Like you had, actually I'm trying to think of all the people that were there. The Pony Cart was there, Rena Chain was there, General Zoe was there. Fucking out of nowhere, General Zoe was there. You know,
I remember Paleo was there, and he was not digging it because he was more of
it was kind of funny
kind of thing, and he shows up. He's like, "What the fuck is this convention? Texans everywhere. Celestia Radio is running this bitch, and I'm basically Everfree Network's best friend. So why am I here?"
Yeah,
he didn't.
It was kind of random. He was like
two of the panels. He's like, "Nope, just not for me."
Yeah. It was funny because he was kind of a late minute addition, kind of the last second, to the guest lineup, and I can remember thinking, God, this is gonna be terrifying. Like, like he's gonna be there. Just CR is just gonna be fucking, you know, just fucking up the place like crazy. He's just gonna be like, I don't understand what's happening. I mean, from the drinking thing to the guest uncensored panel, like, we made that convention what it was because of those two events that happened. You know, fucking Reed Zimmerman and I just ripping the shit out of that, out of the, the uncensored panel.
Yes.
Which I was sad to do it this year without him, but, you know, Rena was there again, which I was glad to see. Reed and Swivel actually, you know, were up there and sort of.
Go figure that we have two friends with the weird fucking name of Reed.
Yeah.
At the same time.
But two totally different spellings of the name too.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen someone before Nodus who spelled the word Reed as R-E-E-D. I've never had a friend or seen that spelling before. R-E-E-D. And then Reed Zimmerman, of course, Emerald Page. He helps run Vinyl Scratch Tapes and co-owns the Midnight Magic Productions studio. He spells it R-E-I-D. So I was, I guess, just used to that. But a weird random fact people didn't really need to know about. Anyway, Brony Fanfare was fucking amazing.
That was the first time we had met in person.
Yeah, first time we had met. You know, QCOM, of course. One of the last few cons that QCOM actually came to. And one of the first. I think he got sick of me after a while. As far as the driving thing, he just got sick of being driven places. He hates it. So, yeah, that was one of the last. But it was sort of like, you know, we had Bronycon, then Brony Fanfare happened, and that was pretty much that summer. That was pretty much the first summer.
It was a good summer.
After season 2, after I took over, you know, that's when we did. We got together, and after Brony Fanfare, obviously it was like September. I just went on a spree of bringing on new shows and hiring new people. The great hiring of November.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because we did our... I'd been in talks both with Brony State and with the group New
Lunar Radio.
New Lunar Radio, right? And basically came down to check your Skype, by the way. It came down to hiring on DJ Darkman, who's still with us, and DJ Calcos from New Lunar Radio, and we brought on Allegro and Gigabit from Brony State. And, you know, they all four kind of came on at the same time, and they were kind of a group. And then shortly after, we brought on Silent Brit, and I want to say, is that the same time that Cider brought on Thor?
No, that came...
That was later,
post
wasn't
Lost
it?
Pegasus. That was post Unicon.
Okay, that was post... Oh, God. So, we basically hired those guys on. Of course, at that point, Deimos was still a thing. God, who else did we have at that point? Pony was gone by that point.
Me, QCOM, Deimos. That was...
You what?
That was her... Oh, Spiton. But, I mean...
Oh! Oh, that's a whole other thing we're not going to talk about.
We talked about that in the last episode, so...
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Spiton. But, you know, just basically getting into the big fundraiser that we did for Kiki, which ran from, I remember it specifically, that ran from November 3rd to November the 11th, I want to say. Because we started on November 3rd. I'm trying to remember why. What was November 3rd? Oh! Did Season 3 start that weekend?
No, not yet. That was...
No, it started... No, okay, I remember. It was the episode... It was the Pinkie Pie episode, I think. Or was it Wonderbolt Academy? Well, anyway, it was the episode that we had Andrea Libman on. And Swedish Spitfire.
Oh, yeah, Nelly.
For Brony State. So, okay, so we're in talks with Brony State, right? And we decide that, you know, when I brought on Allegro and Gigabit, you know, we sort of had this talk with Brony State, and to make the transition smooth, and also just as a cool idea, they got this idea, hey, let's do a co-sponsored pre-show and post-show for Season 3, because Brony State has probably the biggest streaming audience for the new episodes when they air, and, of course, CR, we love to do commentary, so we're like, fantastic, let's do it. So, you know, we started doing those, and as one of our guests, we brought on Andrea Libman, as well as the gal whose name I always forget.
Anelli Heed.
It's like Annalie? Yeah, Annalie Heed. That's it. Or Anelli, however you pronounce it.
It's Swedish.
Swedish people, yeah. She came on and with Andrea, and that was the weekend, I think that Friday night maybe, we kicked off the big 10-day, 200-hour, or 200-plus maybe, hour DJ-a-thon for Kiki. Raised over $10,000. I had to shave off my beard. Cider got a fucking tattoo. And we brought on a shitload of new people from that. Void joined us because of the fundraiser. And he's now our sort of web admin and technical director for the radio station. And has helped tremendously with a lot of things. So I mean, he's a great addition that we had. Trying to think of who else we brought on. We brought on a lot of minor staff at that point.
Silence and Calcos and...
Exlerb, I think, came on at that point.
Yeah, Slurb.
A bunch of people we ended up getting rid of came on at that point. I want to say. It was a lot of people like, yeah, radio, and then...
Wait, I actually have to try? Fuck that.
Yeah. they didn't do their shows, and yeah, they thought it was easy. But you know, that was kind of our influx where I started to feel like, wow, we're going to fill out this schedule. And God help us, it's also the same time that I came up with the idea for Canterlot TV.
Why? Bad channel.
One of my worst decisions. That it kept some of our people here that I really like. Like Canterlot TV was one of the drawing points for Allegro and Giga, and some other folks. And I realized that we would lose some really talented people without it. Yeah, I just... Oh, for those of you that either have no idea what the fuck Canterlot TV is, or sort of know but are like, yeah, this was never a thing, that's sort of what happened there.
That's all you need to know, really.
Yeah. I'll just full on say that's my fault. Both from the lack of understanding of what would needed to be planned for that, and lack of oversight for it, because people that I chose to run it did not run it, and I didn't keep up to date with the fact that they weren't running it. So it was kind of like everything's fine, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, this hasn't ever been a thing yet, and I'm like, what? We came up with this a year ago. Come on. And yeah, so it happens. Yep. But we did that huge fundraiser. We got all those new people, and God help us, that carried us into LPU and the Great Media War of 2013.
Yeah, and on that note, giant thing that's about to happen, we're going to swing into another quick break, and we're going to do our weather and news reports at the top of the hour, so don't go anywhere. You were tuned into Canterlot Cross-Fade with host DJK and DJ Shamrock. We'll be right back, and enjoy these messages.
Do you like to party?
Yeah.
Do you like to eat sugary
You know it.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on down to Sugar Cube Corner. We've got the largest selection of diabetes-inducing treats this side of the galaxy. You know how big the galaxy is? Really fucking big.
Wowzers.
That's right. We've got cookies, cakes, donuts, eclairs, strudels, cupcakes, flatbreads, and much, much more.
Jesus
So
Christ.
get your flat down here, you junkie sad sack, and eat your troubles away. Only at Sugar Cube Corner. Warning, cupcakes may contain trace amounts of pony flesh.
I say, my name is Silence, and I am a DJ, that is to say, a disc jockey. Looking for some entertainment to liven up your weekend scones and afternoon tea? Say no more. Take a seat by the fireplace and tune into my show, Loud Beats, Silent Brit, from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Seaboard Time, or 7 to 9 p.m. for the gentlemen in Greenwich Mean Time. I hope I'll see you there. Cheerio.
Don't lose your cool. Celestia Radio will be right back.
That's right. Don't lose your cool. We're back. We're back already. Short little commercial break there. Of course, still your host, DJK and DJ Shamrock, here on episode 6 of Canterlot Cross-Fade. We're at the top of the hour, which means, of course, it is time for our weather and news reports. And as always, correspondent Shamrock giving us the weather report for the capital city of Canterlot.
That's right, DJK. Well, here in the fair city of Canterlot, we're experiencing a brief respite from all the cold weather that we had this last week. Just chilling weather. Temperatures, however, have headed up to about 40 Fahrenheit, and Celestia's sun has been out a little more than its fair share this week. Don't get too comfortable, though. Heartwarming season is in full effect, and wintry snows are expected to begin covering the streets in absolutely no time at all over the next few weeks here in the capital of Canterlot. Over to you.
Well, it's been a rough couple of days for the citizens of Manhattan there, Shamrock. We've had blistering winds that were devastating the city for the past 2 days non-stop. Winds of 100 kilometers per hour were registered, tearing apart the massive balloons of Manhattan's Winter Solstice Parade. Terrible sight. The fools were screaming with terror. I hope I never have to see the likes of it again. However, we have more cold weather on the way, a predicted wind chill of -4 Fahrenheit to hit the city tonight, and it's going to be a rough start to the holidays for this city. And with that, it is, of course, time for our news speed show at the top of the hour for Canterlot Cross-Fade and the Brony fandom, so let's roll the clip. Oh, the clip. We're doing it live!
We're doing it live!
We're doing it live! All right, folks. Well, get ready for a lot of deals and merchandise reports for this speed show because it's Sunday. We're currently in between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, those two clusterfucky American holidays that are even bigger than Thanksgiving themselves. So there's going to be deals aplenty. Note that though we are telling you these now, if you're listening to this later, these deals are probably over. So if you're listening to this live, it's not too late. But if you're not listening to this live, then you might be too late. I don't know. You get the gist of it. So that's where we're at. Shamrock?
Yeah, so nearly all t-shirts, Pony included, of course, are on sale for $10 a pop at Hot Topic's website. Go buy that DJ Pone 3 shirt you've always wanted, or better yet, something from regular show. There's some pretty cool stuff over there, and I always love Hot Topic shirts, although, they pull a lot of stuff from We Look Fine, I think. But, they've got some cool stuff, some random stuff you won't find at We Look Fine or some other places. And hey, $10 a shirt, that's not a bad deal, really. So,
oh no, you could get tons.
Check it out. I don't know if that deal is in stores or not, but
knowing Hot Topic, probably so. They're always,
I would assume
they're always
would be.
Throwing deals at your face while you're checking out. So, good on Hot Topic. Let's see, next on the queue, our good friend Rommel over at Bronies for Good. He's teamed up with some folks, and they're starting up their own convention over in the San Francisco area of California. It's called BabsCon, and the staff have a giant badge and membership screaming deal until tomorrow, so that's going to be Monday, December 2nd. If you plan on going to this convention in the California area, check it out. I mean, screaming deals to go get your pass and your badge. You might as well save some money if you're going to go to a convention. It's already going to break the bank. So if you're interested in that, go to their website, BabsCon, and use their promo code BabsFriday20.
Yep. And do you happen to know when that con is? Because I don't remember.
Oh my god. I mean, the people on Bronycon say it all the time. I can't remember. I don't know. Check it out if you're interested. I'm pretty sure it's coming up within 3 months or so.
Yeah, go check out BabsCon 2014. So the combined viewers for the premiere on the Hub alone last week nearly reached 1.5 million viewers. Now, just picture a few thousand on streams, and we're talking the real numbers. Honestly, I would say, because I think Brony State, didn't we get like 10K or more?
It spiked at like 12K, I want to say, just on Brony State.
Right. And they're probably one of the biggest streamers. So you're good, solid audience. You know what I mean? I think on opening day, like the first to watch at the premiere, that is a pretty good, solid. That's a solid number. For those that see it in general, it's even more than that, probably tenfold or more. So that's pretty cool. Those are some awesome numbers. We'll have to check out the YouTube videos of the episodes that are uploaded and check on those numbers. But pretty awesome stuff. Good kickoff to season 4, I dare say.
Yep, best start we've had thus far. It's not a record for the Hub, but I mean, at this rate, we're gonna break it any episode now, at least the finale.
But,
for sure. Lord knows how far down the road that is in 2014, but when it happens, it's gonna be big and the internet will explode. So.
Yep.
But I mean, that's months to come. In other news, a new Flash game. I mean, Bronies are always loving those those quirky Flash games that you can get. It's kind of a bubble pop style, if you've ever seen those style of Flash games where you shoot something at a whole bunch of other things and then they lock or match and then disappear and you get points, that kind of shit. It's a bubble pop style game. It's featuring Princess Twilight, of course, and it's available to play for free. It's called Elemental Reaction. If you want to check it out, it's on the creator's DeviantArt. You're going to want to go to futzi, Futzi01.deviantart.com. and find that game to play for free. Elemental Reaction. Haven't played it myself yet, but looks like it's one that I'll probably do in the near future.
Cool. And, I mean, of course, I always love seeing little Flash games and stuff come out. It's just kind of a little bit of the part of the fandom that's neat and is always able to, keep people interested and show what the fandom can do when we see those little games and Flash things. I really enjoy it. Of course, our favorite toy site that neither of us can pronounce, that's right, it's Toyiz or however the fuck, is having a Black Friday 20% off sale from the funky metal pony ornaments to the new wave of blind bags. You can pick these up using the promo code 20cooler. That's 20 COOLER. Just go to toyiz.com, TOYIZ. I think it's .com. Anyway, go check it out. 20% off. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, we went there on our merchandise episode. I think it was episode 1 or 2 where we talked about all the merchandise, and we just couldn't figure it out. I always pronounce it Toys.
Toys.
I almost wrote it that way in the notes, but you can't.
I can almost like see it as Toy Easy, but it's not an E, it's an I. So like,
if we were in Mexico, that would work. But
it's almost like they were trying to pull off like cool Toys R Us thing, but I totally don't fucking get it. So if the creator of Toys could come on CR and explain to us what the fuck your title's supposed to mean, that'd be great.
We'll get him on next week.
Let's do it. Let's shoot for that.
Anyway, we got a new fantastic writer, made his debut yesterday with the Castlemania episode of My Little Pony, Josh Aber. He did a live tweet event yesterday with his episode, and his episode was just met with a ton of praise, tons of success. Have yet to watch it myself, been really busy, but I'm going to make sure that I get down to that sometime tonight. Probably right after we're done with this episode, I'll try and watch it. I've got it recorded. I have the hub. I'm one of the lucky few that can watch that shit. So, I don't know. I was on Brony time with him a week prior. He seems like a hilarious guy. His sense of humor is very comparable to that of Mitch Larson, just with the no fucks given, that when I'm not, I don't mind talking like an adult about a My Little Pony subject. And I like when we can get those kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, this speaks leagues about what we can expect from them in the future, so. He's an excellent writer. He's got a few more episodes up in the season. He couldn't tell us the exact number during that interview, but he's like, I'll be here. Don't be too, if you don't like me, then you're going to be stuck with me for a while. That was kind of the gist of his conversation there. So, looking forward to it. He's a cool guy. Great episode from what I've heard. Looking forward to watching it.
Yeah. It was good. Of course, one thing to speak on really quickly is that leak that happened. I don't know if you were around or familiar with it. I know you've been kind of busy, but I believe it was on Tuesday or Monday, maybe. The episode got leaked.
Yes.
And
fucking Marco sent it to me. You're Marco.
Oh yeah, Marco. Yeah, he sent it to me too, actually. But at the same time, I got it from our Pony Free Press chat. Had it. Not sure where it came from. I don't know if it's been addressed, like where the leak came from, or if the hub or if Hasbro has said anything on it. But yeah, what the fuck? I know sometimes the iTunes thing last season they would fuck it up and they would put it in iTunes and they would want it to release the week after, but they would fuck up and not put it to release the week after, and it would release like the day they put it in. And that was a whole thing. I don't remember what episode. Maybe it was that Wonderbolt Academy that did that?
I don't even remember. But
dude, it was. It totally was. Yeah. It was. It was Wonderbolt Academy. But that was, oh my god. I just can't even. Anyway, that was a whole other thing that happened. But Interplay also is having a sale on its card binders and the cards themselves. So if you're a fan of the trading card game, pick them up while they're still hot. I know those are some pretty cool binders, so check them out if you're a card enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm sure some people are going to be after that. And with that, looks like we're wrapping up our news. Just the last thing that I really have noted throughout the week is that the staff is just way more active on Twitter than they have ever been before. Handful of writers all the time going on and live tweeting about the episode, making funny little witty comments. I know Megan McCarthy did it a lot, but something to expect.
Yeah.
Hey, don't it feel so energetic? Try Rainbow Dash, the energy drink for ponies with gratuitous amounts of friendship. With all new flavors like Flutter Guy, Buttershy Energy. It's like adding kindness to an electrical storm. Sound the alarm. You're going to be uncomfortably cheerful. What's that? You want Pinkie Pie? Well, how about Pinkie Die? With parties, real parties, friendship. You'll be good at it. It's an energy drink for ponies. Bonergy. These aren't your sister's ponies. These are Bonergy ponies. Turbo ponies. Caring energy. Rainbow Dash, Rainbow Crash, Rainbow Cupcakes. It has more rainbow than your body has room for. You're like so fast, so she'll be like, slow down. And you'll be like, fuck you! And kick her in the face with your Bonergy legs. You'll have so much Bonergy. Bonergy! You'll be flying all the time. Flying friendly, caring, friendly sleeping, friendly shipping, friendly laughing, friendly spawning. Phillies! You'll have so many Phillies. 400 Phillies! Give Rainbow Dash to your Phillies, and they'll be good at friendship! Make your Phillies fly abnormally fast! They'll fly as fast as griffins! Ponies will watch them and think they're griffins! They'll race as fast as griffins against actual griffins! And then it'll be a tie and they'll be deported back to Griffinia! Hey! Go with the sure thing! Don't gamble on your Bonergy! Fluttershy stare! Buy Rainbow Dash! The Bonergy for friendship!
Hey there, bronies. Need someone to talk to about your love troubles? Then listen to Lauren Goodnight and Stephanie Keir on 8-Bit Sex every Friday night at 10 Eastern on Celestia Radio. We'll take your frown and turn it up.
Is mission Mad Matt Dog agus bíonn siad ag éisteach le Celestia Radio. Gach capelín, gach ann.
All right, and welcome back to Canterlot Cross-Fade, everyone. That was Lower the Moon by Radiark, a nice orchestral piece there. Got pretty intense very quickly in that one, and with a nice long outro there.
Oh yeah, always gotta love those long outros.
Oh yeah, we have many to thank for that.
Yep.
So we've talked about so far in this episode. We're not doing a call-in or interview today. We're just going to do a part 2 sort of main topic, since it's kind of a long one that we're on. And I think we actually decided this is going to be a 3-parter series.
Yeah, we're on part 2 of part 2, and then next week we'll do part 1 of part 3.
Yeah.
So many parts.
So many parts. Because basically, I remember first week you were talking about, and I was like, oh, I think we'll do 3 parts. And then when we got back to it, we're like, no, we can do it in 2. And then just now happened.
Yet again.
Just now happened, and then I was like, oh no, yeah, it's going to be 3. There's just too much left to talk about. To be honest, we managed to get through holiday season of 2012. And so now we're sort of at the beginning of 2013. We're in the middle of season 3, and
what better to jump off of the beginning of 2013 than that one convention that we went to?
That one convention. So Las Pegasus Unicon, which I know I'm pretty sure one of our full episodes was about Las Pegasus Unicon.
It was. I think actually I know where my hat is, the Las Pegasus hat. I think I might just go grab it for.
I've got mine too, actually, to believe it or not.
Here, you talk. I'm going to go get my hat.
Okay. All right. I'll talk about that. So, basically, Las Pegasus Unicon, it was the first really big con that I felt that I wanted to be really invested in because, Bronycon had its thing going, and with, if y'all listen to me talk enough, you'll hear plenty about sort of the media complexes that were going on at the time between the Everfree radio network, between us, Ponyville Live wasn't really much of a thing at the time yet. Brony State, Equestria Daily, Derpy Hooves News. Basically, all of us decided to get together and form this group called the Pony Free Press because we wanted to help build better relations with conventions that would allow for more open media practices among multiple groups. And we didn't really like the way that things were going between a lot of the bigger conventions and the Everfree network because of the fact that it was real confusing the way that they did things, because normally in media, having worked in it for several years, for big events and stuff, for a media organization to get exclusive coverage, they will actually pay the entity that's holding the event a huge sum of money. You see this with the Super Bowl. Media organizations will pay basically millions in order to have the exclusive airing rights for that event, because they get tons of viewers, which means they also get tons of viewers for their advertisers, and they get paid a lot by those advertisers. So they make that money back easily by doing that and by gaining new watchers, new listeners. And so really that's how it works. But for some reason, the way it's happened with this, with this fandom, is that the Everfree network has required these conventions to pay for the services of streaming, which is not usually how it works, because then not only do they get paid, they get all these listeners, all these watchers, and all the views to their site. So they kind of get all of the win out of that scenario.
Everyone else basically
okay,
loses.
Welcome back.
I got my hat. Yes, I'm back.
Yeah. When the convention, only gets their, they actually end up just losing money, to be honest, by having people watch their event and not come. and go to it. So, conventions make their money off of panels and off of, stuff like that. So we basically wanted to, put an end to that and help new conventions, conventions that could be really big, to get their stuff known, and not for, any payment, out of their pocket. Just bring it as a service to the community, basically. And to provide the talk, the commentary, all that stuff, because of what we do. And, LPU looked to be the first chance we would have at that, because we had, an even playing field as far as access to the guests. We had equal access in the panel rooms to broadcast, and it was a really big event for us for a first time for the Prony Free Press, because we were all there in full force. Apple Cider, I believe, was there for Bronyville. I think some of the guys from Brony State actually made it down. And then, of course, we were there. DHN was there. EQD was there. Pretty much everybody from all those groups, to be honest. And we brought... how many did we have? We had Deimos, me, you, Calcos was there.
Ponytoast was there.
Well, he wasn't with us at the time.
That was entertaining. Yeah, it was suddenly Deimos, too. That, we were there, and then suddenly Deimos. Hello.
Jesus, who else was... I know we had more people from CR there.
Reed was... he was basically helping us at the time.
Oh, right. Reed and Naudis were there. David was there. Oh, PHP was there. Now I remember. Okay. And... Okay, that might have been it. So it was me, PHP...
Oh, Wubsy was there at the time.
Calcos.
He was with us.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing.
Too many times during this show where we say a name and then we both go, that's for another episode.
Right. Forgot that person was the thing. So, I was just telling the audience at large about sort of what brought the Pony Free Press to be, sort of practices in the convention atmosphere that was sort of weird, out of place for actual media, how media usually pays an organization to capture an event as opposed to the other way around, that kind of thing. So we all heavily invested in LPU. Everything seemed pretty legit. To this day, I really don't know completely the whole story as far as what went down, but I don't think anybody does.
It's kind of like the Twilight Zone. It just is, but it...
Yeah, it's kind of, it happened and all that stuff was going on when it happened, and then, you just kind of sit there at some point and are like, oh, I really don't know what just happened. But so we went, and, to be honest, I still say to this day that from the media side of things, that was the best convention all across the board.
Oh, easily.
Across the board for media. Everybody was there. Nobody killed anybody, which is saying a lot, because actually it was funny because the gal who ran the convention, Sandy, we told her, and she did. She split up. We had these skybox. The media had these skyboxes, which were phenomenal. Just big ol' open rooms we could keep our gear in and film from and do interviews in and stuff, overlooking the whole convention. Oh, it was beautiful. But anyway, our skybox and the Everfree skybox, you actually couldn't even see one box from the other because of how far apart they were.
There was 4 dividing walls of the convention center, 2 hallways, and 3 security guards separating Celestia Radio from Everfree Network's rooms.
Yeah, and and so, the two groups didn't really see much of each other, but it was pretty funny because there were some interactions.
Yeah, I was in I was in their room at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, we were in there for the Delancey interview, actually, I remember.
And that was all kinds of... Not awkward, but at the end of the day, yes, completely awkward. Because
it was.
Like 4 of... You and me were in there. It was Sham and I. We were in there. Then there was all of Everfree staff. Literally every manager, every director, from 8-Trick to... Or 1-Trick to 8-Track to Final Draft. All the people. All the Everfree. Then they were all of Everfree's little friends. Like Sibsy was there, and Silva was in there. Mando was in there. Just lots of people that Celestia Radio isn't the best of friends with, so we're just kind of like, don't make direct eye contact with anyone. They're all in suits, and here we are in our fucking LPU hats and t-shirts, like, fuck all, Celestia Radio.
Yeah, pretty much.
But nothing happened, believe it or not. We were just in there at the same time.
That was when I dropped that question bomb on Delancey too about the documentary, because that was still a fuss.
Yeah, you were the only one that had the balls to actually say that question. Everyone's kind of beating around the bush and, oh, hello, DJ Shamrock of Celestia Radio. There's been a lot of negative questions and topics surrounding your documentary. We're wondering if we're ever going to see transcripts or receipts of what you spent. He's like, nope.
I was like, all right, well,
there you have
everybody knows now.
If you want to see that response, it's on our YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
www.youtube.com/Celestia Radio. That's where you'll find it.
Asking the hard questions. Giving no fucks. That was a good interview. I enjoyed that one. Of the 2 good interviews we've had with him, that was definitely one of my favorite ones. But we managed to get all the way through that, and had a great time just filming, talking to all the vendors and the guests. We had great just time with a lot of the guests. Mitch Larson, fantastic interview with him. Andrew Francis, I'll never forget Andrew Francis' interview because it wasn't that long. It was it was kind of short, but he's a chill guy. He is exactly what everyone would think Shining Armor is. Like, he is just super chill, laid back guy, gives no fucks most of the time, because Spazzy from DHN actually came over and brought me his tablet, and before Andrew Francis came in, actually, I'll tell the whole part of this. Andrew Francis randomly, we're interviewing somebody. I think it was the psychology chick.
Oh yeah.
I want to say, yeah. The people that were doing that Brony survey thing. So anyway, we're interviewing her. Andrew Francis comes in. He's like, "Has anyone seen my beer?" And we're like, I think you might have left it in like the VA room, because there was a VA room that had liquor and stuff in it for him. And so he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." He's like, "I'll be right back." All right, so he goes in there, grabs that, comes back. By that time, the psychologist interview's over, and he comes in and sits down. But before he comes back in the room, Spazzy's like, "Here is this tablet," and his tablet has the file selected for the wave soundbite that has the twily part that Shining Armor does, and he gave me his little remote that he has to the tablet, and so the tablet's just sitting kind of next to me, next to the interviewee chair, and in the middle, and I have the remote to click play. He comes back in, sits down, we start talking, like, "Oh hey Andrew Francis, how's it going?" And then I click the thing, it's like, "Twily!" And then Andrew Francis, like, without fucking missing a beat at all, he's just like, "Twily!" It's just like right after. Oh, it was pretty good. He definitely is a cool guy. Loved hanging out with him, and hanging out with the other one, Andy Price, of course.
Oh, so many good Andy Price moments.
Oh, so many. Oh, I actually just remembered like half of them just now, and they're all the ones that we could not put on YouTube. That was some stellar shit. He actually, what did he say to us when I can't remember if we asked him or he said basically, don't put this on YouTube. I can't remember what he said. He said something like, "I will strangle you and kill you," or something.
I will lose my job and be so fucked that I will bring you down with me, or something along those lines.
Something along those lines. It was hilarious. So we're like, okay. Nah, he's a chill guy. I would never want to hurt his career anyway. There were some good times. Trixie Pillow was involved. If you have questions, just tweet at Trixie Pillow. I'm sure she'll answer. So, we get through this whole, shebang with all this stuff, and he actually chilled with us that night. That was Saturday night. So, Saturday night, we have the huge party at our place.
After all the drama of being locked out of our room with security at the elevators, I believe. Was that night?
That was Sunday night.
That was Sunday. Okay.
That was Sunday night, right.
I'm jumping ahead, folks. We'll get to that other fun part.
It's all good. That Saturday night, we go out to... Actually, is that the night we went out to the restaurant?
We went to the restaurant twice. We went to the restaurant on the last day. Okay, yeah, it was Sunday that we went to the restaurant for the last time, because that's when we all came back. We were all on our happy high. We're all like, yay, we're all here together. We're going to go have a great time in the room. And then it was like, nope. Because we were all in front of the casino.
Right.
Next to the coffee shop kind of weird place. All in a huddle, like, what the fuck are we going to do?
So, I try to remember the time. Well, it's the first time we got Andy Price over there. Was that...
That was Friday night?
That Friday? Okay, maybe that was Friday. I was just thinking that we went straight from there back to the room and partied, but I actually can't remember Saturday. I can't remember Saturday evening. Oh, Saturday night. Now I remember. Saturday night was pizza.
Oh god, I hated the pizza so much.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it tasted like shit. Everyone else is like, oh my god, this pizza's great. I'm like, you motherfuckers don't know what pizza is. Okay.
Well, there were also wings and stuff there, too.
Yeah.
Luckily. I don't know how good those were, but... Anyway, we ordered, that was one of 2 times where I've actually done a massive just tailgate thing for those parties. Otherwise, we've always just kind of brought snacks. But,
We ordered, 12 pizzas.
I ordered, $150 worth of food, easily, from the bottom floor. And had them bring it up. But it was a bunch of pizzas and, some wings, some fries, a gigantic salad, I guess. They just kind of threw that in there because, yeah, so, we ended up, having that, and, Andy Price came back to that party. We actually had this amazing room there. I would love to get another room like that. There was a 2-floor room, right? It was a 2-floor suite. And you could go, the bottom floor had a lot of space, nice TV, big old dinner table kind of thing. Actually, I don't think there was a bar in this room.
There was a little tiny ass sink next to the door with a mini fridge, but...
Yeah, there really wasn't a bar, so, which kind of surprised me, actually, a little bit. But, we had, then upstairs there was this, huge bedroom, master bed, big old fucking, hot tub, it was cool. It was a good room, to have the party in. And honestly, we end up going in and sitting Andy Price down. And he literally just sits down, we're fucking drinking scotch, and he's telling us all this shit about doing the comic and, some of the behind-the-scenes shit, and some of the future stuff that didn't come out yet, and he was talking about.
At the time, he was telling us all about the weird hippy-dippy comic with the flaxseed pony.
It was the Rarity one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rarity goes off to do some weird hippie shit or something. I can't even remember. I don't read the comics.
Anyway, moral of the story, they're all stoners.
Basically. And he's like, yeah, that's canon. They're all completely...
They're all stoners. He's like... And he even tells us, you know, these stories about how, like, you know, when you bring the script to get approval and stuff, words will have a huge amount of weight as far as, like, what you're allowed to put out. But visually, you can do just about anything. And so, even though they couldn't straight up say that this guy was a stoner, like, he visually showed it, like, 100% this dude is a stoner, you know? Which was pretty cool. I enjoyed that aspect. I thought it was pretty awesome. But, I'm trying to think of what else we talked about. I can't think of too much. But, you know, it was a good time. That was one of the times where we really got to sit somebody down and just kind of, like, pick their brain, you know?
Yep. He talked about Star Wars relentlessly.
We did talk about Star Wars a lot, to be honest.
Oh, you know, Harrison Ford, he fucking hated that movie. We all laughing.
Yeah. That dude just... I mean, it's funny, because you almost don't think about, like, people who create things also being a huge lover of the things they create. But, like, Andy Price, and I'm pretty sure Katie Cook as well, are huge nerds. Like, they fucking love comic book, superhero, all of that stuff. And Andy Price, by far, is probably, and I mean this totally as a compliment, too, Andy Price is probably one of the nerdiest people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, he was literally just an encyclopedia of shit I thought I would never know. He reminds me, actually, a lot of Hank Green, a little bit, to be honest. Are you familiar with Hank Green, the Green Brothers?
Not really.
The Vlog Brothers.
Oh,
they're kind of the two that became popular on YouTube towards the beginning of YouTube for the cut, like, sort of stop style of talking head.
Oh, well, I was like 5 during the beginning of YouTube, so...
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Those were my Newgrounds days. That was when... That was my Newgrounds. But anyway... yeah, so... He reminds me a lot of Hank Green, for those of you that know who that is. And that was that. And, you know, Saturday night, we had a good time. And then, at about... what time was it in the morning? I can't remember. But basically...
The shit had hit the fan.
Shit hit the fan. In the short term.
Oh, I remember this well, because basically, Haybuck, or Jade Aurora, interchangeably...
Yeah.
She took me outside with Calcos, and Calcos like, I need to smoke a cigarette. And we're like, okay, Calcos, what's up? So we're all outside, and we're all in there talking to me in whispers, and I'm like, oh man, something's going on right now. And they're like, okay, so basically the con has no money. Everyone's gonna get kicked out in about 2 hours. We need to fucking rally. And I'm like, oh, that was exactly the sound I made too, because they're expecting me to go, oh no, what are we gonna do? And I just fucking start laughing. And they're like, this isn't a joke, KB. I'm like, I know it's not a joke.
Fashion.
I'm like, you know how entertaining this is gonna be? We're gonna see fucking how many hundreds of bronies freaking out being evicted from their, like, from a Vegas hotel room, and like, oh my god. I could see it. I was like,
I could see spaghetti on the walls.
But oh man, you could hear the pasta boiling a mile away, so... Basically, like, I was ready to... CR, of course, we were ready to buck down and help. Like, we were not laughing in a manner that was, fuck, you know, they're so...
Yeah, we weren't just like, let's watch the boat burn down. It was like, okay, it's gonna be funny, but let's actually try and save this convention.
So we start teaming up with all the media conventions, donations, and all that shit, whatnot, mass tweeting, mass everything. It was kind of cool, because... It was cool being a part of something where, like, I would be next to the dude from Everfree that was head of their social media, and he's like, I just sent a tweet. I'm like, cool, I'm retweeting right now. And then I'm like, I just made a tweet. And he's like, I'm retweeting. And then we high five, and fucking that would never last. But that was kind of what was happening. So it was something that I had never pictured I'd ever be high fiving an Everfree Network guy after retweeting something that he did. But there I was doing it. And, you know, that was just kind of the minor things. The other things that we were doing were along the lines of crowd control. Celestia Radio is really good at dealing with that kind of energy and crowd control. So basically we were trying to keep people from freaking out, keeping people from finding out what was happening, and at the same time, you were trying to like console the con staff, and I was spearheading getting all the musicians' equipment into our room because there was thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of musical equipment that all those guys had that was about to get fucking tossed out into the street. So we're like, to the room! And longest I mean, you fucking remember the LPU hallway. It was the longest goddamn hallway in the history of ever.
Terrible. I mean, Vegas hotels are like known for that, just because everything is connected, literally. It's crazy. You could pretty much spend less than like 100 steps outside and make it all the way down the strip if you wanted to.
So, giant ass hallway, and we have a conveyor belt of all the musicians, and I'm talking, I already listed off. I have my circular poster. You're going to see me twisting my head. Cyril, Finning, Omni, Beatles, Bronies, Hey Lost Frost, Harby, Equestria Dude, Eurobeat, etc. We were human assembly line, throwing all, like, amplifiers, speakers, guitars, microphone stands, all the shit. And we got it up to our room. And that's when we decided, yay, time to celebrate. And we all went to Peppermill. And when we came back from Peppermill, that's when things got really ugly.
Right, so, like, you know, everything, you know, goes into chaos. We had all these fire sales trying to sell off stuff. Basically, the night before, on Saturday night, Haybuck comes to the room to grab, heavily drunk, mind you. Everybody was. At that point, everybody was wasted. Even the show staff wasted. And he comes to us at probably, I don't know when it was, 11, maybe, midnight, I don't remember. Anyway, Derpy Squad and I are together, the head of Derpy Hooves News and I, and he pulls us both out, and, you know, at the time, Seth was, they didn't come to our party for a little while the first night. They missed Sunday night, that's right, they were there Saturday night, so, Seth and the gang were there at some point. They might have left early, like they always do. Sometimes Serial stays behind, but so they end up going, and I think they were actually gone by this point, not like involved in the knowing what's going on, because they kind of stake to themselves. But Everfree and I think LPU and somebody else, Apple Cider, they were already in this other room, and they had been talking to VAs, and, you know, basically, the whole scenario was the con was going down, and we needed to quickly try and build up this momentum, try and get these sales going. We came up with some deals, you know, in the vendor hall, con sales, all this stuff to try and boost some income. And they did end up making some money back, but it basically all went to primarily the VAs, and then secondarily to anybody else that was promised a room that got revoked or whatever, so musicians and stuff. But yeah, because all these people had been promised comped rooms, and then all of a sudden, the hotel pulls those, and, you know, everybody's like, oh shit, you know, I don't have a room anymore. So that's when KB got all the gear and stuff together, and I tried to just wrangle people. we ended up going out eating. We come back, lo and behold, because this is Sunday night, right? So the con is over. Everybody basically is just, everything's done. Everybody's kind of staying there for another night. Most people were, and we just were like, all right, let's go. Let's have a good time. The beard shaving commenced this evening, and we were getting ready for this huge thing. And lo and behold, one final barrier stands in our way. The guards are standing at the bottom of the elevators checking card keys for the rooms to make sure that no one is doubling up. And we are fucked.
We are not even close to doubled up. We are like 40 into a room for 2 up.
We are so fucked. We literally have 4 people for this room, and we are going to put like 40 in it. And so I have this just crowd of people, and we're like, all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to just chill here. We're going to wait. Oh shit, the guard's gone. Run. And literally we have
2 elevators filled with 20 people each. All the way up to the top floor.
Everybody fucking get in the elevators. All right, everybody packs in. I think Everfree was like standing off to the side, and Final Draft was just like, let him go. Just let him go. And someone was like, should we do something about that? And he's just like, just let him go. And so we storm upstairs. We're like, oh, fuck. We fucking made it. Holy shit. Everybody gets to see all the musicians get to see sort of the penthouse floor, see how fucking cool it is. We had a cool overlooking thing of the city and, some other stuff.
Yeah, giant windows.
I think Eurobeat nearly, just jumped out the window. He's like, oh, I want to be out there, like, on the windowsill. Just
like,
outside.
Travis, what are you doing?
It's like, no, don't do that. We reined it in, brought everybody back in, had a fucking fantastic party.
It's on
still
YouTube.
had liquor left somehow.
It's almost been a year and you still have liquor left from Vegas.
I literally do. No, I have liquor left from Brony Fanfare, the first one.
Jesus Christ.
Which is literally over a year, and a year and 2 months now. Almost a year and 3 months since Brony Fan, almost 15 months, and I still have liquor left over from that. I got rid of some of it at Brony Fanfare, at Nightmare Nights. I got rid of some of it. So,
on that note, we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and man, we thought we'd make it all the way to Fiesta Equestria, but
I think we could wrap it up. I think we can wrap. We're about done with LPU pretty much. So
yeah, that was LPU.
That was pretty much it. That was LPU. The beard, we got the beard shaved. Had a good time. That video's on YouTube if you want to look at it. It's whatever. If you want to see what it's like for me to stick a whole bunch of things in my face and then shave it off, it's on YouTube.
And then a whole bunch of people singing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Just drunk, fucking dancing and shit. Damos being a flagging faggot. You'll get to see me truly enraged also in that YouTube video, because I about fucking punched Damos square in the nuts.
You did punch him square in the nuts.
I did actually hit him in the nuts at one point, but yeah. That's...
Whoa, and Ponytoast is like, he told you to fuck off. You are surrounded by all those people that no longer work for us.
I know, right?
Then you let them shave your face with sharp, pointy razors. You were a brave man.
I am 3 people at this. We can get to that after the break.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We will be right back to wrap up the show and talk about what we're gonna do on part 3. So don't go anywhere. You're tuned into Canterlot Cross-Fade.
Want to deliver mail fast and safe? Try the Derpy Hooves Postal Service. Derpy personally handles each piece of mail like a child and will deliver it immediately. Unlike the Equestrian Postal Service, Derpy delivers mail every day of the week. Every pony loves Derpy's postal service. Just listen to these testimonials.
I don't know how, but my mail got to where it needed to go. And I got a muffin.
Derpy doesn't seem like the brightest pony in Equestria, but she is fast, and she gives us all muffins, which is cool too.
Well, the eyes are a very noticeable feature of Derpy, but she is extremely fast. My mail got to Canterlot from Ponyville in one day, and I got a muffin. What is it with that pony and muffins?
So instead of using equestrian postal service, try Derpy Hooves, where your mail matters.
Hey there, Brony. Run out of space on your hard drive? Too much Rule 34 to rarity taking up all your precious memory? Well, fear not, because we've got a solution. Dash drives. Flash drives with your favorite pony engraved on the side. That's right. Now you can take your waifu anywhere, along with 64 gigabytes of memory. That's a lot of clop fiction. With 210 possible color combinations, dozens of graphics to choose from, and 2 lines of engraved personal text, your dash drive will be your very own. All you have to do is go to dashdrives.com and place an order. You'll be sporting some excellent flash drive pony swag in no time. Dash drives. File storage just got 20% cooler.
Celestia Radio. All pony, all the time.
All right, and we are back. I am your host, joined, of course, with DJ Shamrock, and I'm DJK, here to wrap up episode number 6 of Canterlot Cross-Fade. We just got done covering the madness that was Las Pegasus Unicon, and we only scratched the surface of it, but, I mean, we've been talking about it for a year, so if you don't know what the fuck happened at this point, then I don't know.
Shit out of luck.
Shit out of luck. There you have it.
Fairly much. That's what I would say about that. Yeah, so, you know, it kind of rounded off, and we had, because of the Kiki fundraiser we had done in November, which we talked about earlier in this episode, we were able to raise over 10K, and I promised to get my beard shaved and recorded and everything at LPU, which is what brings us to now. So that happened, and I did have 3 different people. Originally, Fadsy from Derpy Hooves News was the one to do it. I had promised him he could do it, to shave it off, and he was doing an okay job right up until it came to the actual shaving part. Like, we got most of the actual beard off, right? But then you gotta, like, clean shave. And at that point, that's when both Pony Toast and my good friend, whose fucking name I actually can't recall at this point, he's a sergeant in the army.
Yeah, the drill sergeant guy.
Yeah,
he
drill
gave
sergeant
me a really fucked up mohawk too.
Lol. But he was cool, and he knew what he was doing for the most part. But all 3 of them literally clean shaved me with razors at the same time. And if you want to see that, because it's kind of fucking awesome, I'm not going to lie. I don't think that gets done very often. You should go check that video out on YouTube, because it was pretty magical. And, you know, basically, at that point, everything, you know, was over. The next day, it was very calm. There was a sadness in the air, as if to say, "What have we done?" You know, LPU as a whole just kind of felt like, "Wow, well, that happened," and the ramifications were still sort of like lingering. It wasn't like truly felt yet until all the podcasters met the weekend after. And boy howdy, did things start getting hammered in as far as what it meant. Yeah, it was just it happened. So we get done with LPU. It seemed for a very small amount of time that there was a possibility, a very tiny sliver hair of a possibility, that folks from the Pony Free Press and the Everfree Network were going to be able to possibly get along, develop what had happened at LPU, and carry that into Bronycon season, some of the smaller cons to come. And really what ended up getting proved is that, you know, Final will never give up a chance to stir up shit. So,
forever and always.
Forever and always. And, was that when... It was pre-LPU that, yeah... I'm just trying to remember the huge thing that went down in the convention chat, which doesn't exist anymore, actually. Post-LPU, the convention chat was replaced by another chat that was sort of meant to restore balance to, I don't know, confusing.
Restore balance to the fandom.
Politics. In a nutshell, politics. But the convention one at one point, before LPU, just had exploded. Final just kind of got done with people not liking him, and, just started getting all pissed off and pointing fingers at people about stirring up shit and about, lying about stuff and left and right. And then, he, I can't remember the exact comment, but that's when he started to, point out names. And I was I was in there. I wasn't really saying anything. I was staying pretty neutral for me, to be honest. I wasn't, on anybody's side at that point. And then he just started, poking fingers at in generalizations at, organizations at large, all of CR, all of DHN, all of da-da-da. And I'm like, you can say whatever you want about me, but don't say anything about anybody else that works for me. We're going to have a problem if you start bashing my people. And that's when shit really hit the fan, and that my proudest tweet ever, the fucking chick flipping the middle finger that's got the dress tie on it and the shirt. It says, "Is this fucking professional enough for you?" And oh man, my proudest moment. That resulted in a lot of backlash.
Oh.
But also, it felt good. It felt good to finally just have it out in the open like that. You know what I mean? And that's why we're not friends. For people that were wondering the story of why that's not a thing. There are many other reasons, but that's one of them. So, the media thing continued. We see it really after LPU.
And that's kind of where we have to take off for next week.
Yeah. After, basically after LPU, after all this sort of settles, between season 3 and 4, that whole convention season we're going to get into next week, and the fallout and impacts of what had been happening in the media and how it just kind of stopped being a thing. PVL starts to become a big thing, and Hoof Sounds happens, and then pretty much Final Draft doesn't matter anymore. All that and more next week on Canterlot Cross-Fade.
Yup, oh man, part 3. It's gonna be the best part yet, folks. That it's hard. You think it'd be hard to top Las Pegasus drama, but we'll do it. We'll make it happen.
We will.
So this has been.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. So this has been episode number 6 of Canterlot Cross-Fade. Air date December 1st, 2013. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, you can catch this and all of our other episodes on our YouTube page, as well as beard shaving, running out of gas, and so many other things from LPU. So, highly encourage you to go there, check it out, subscribe to us while you're there, and DJK, DJ Shamrock signing off. We will see you next week for another Canterlot Cross-Fade.
This shit's divine. It's like the singing of fucking angels. Shouts out to Clever Pony. Shouts out to Pinkie Pie Swear for the beat. What up? Actually, I changed it a little bit. Yo, this joint's called, I forget, Pony Swag.
Did you enjoy the show? Want to catch even more batshit antics next week? Well, tune in next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another installment of Canterlot Cross-Fade with hosts DJK Brony and DJ Shamrock. Only here on Celestia Radio.